The number of people living in extreme poverty in Spain has doubled in just 5 years, according to a new report from charity groups there. Around 3 million Spaniards now have to survive on under 307 euros per month, while the cost of living continues to climb. And that's as the number of families where not one person is employed has gone up fivefold since the start of crisis. That's 1.8 million households. And now the Spanish government is set to become the first in Europe to tax something that's been free and available to everyone since the dawn of time: sunlight. Well, Madrid wants to impose a levy on solar power to help plug its yawning energy debt, as Sarah Firth now reports.
There's an argument hotting up in Spain right now. The country's still mired in financial difficulty. The government's come up with a rather unusual proposal, calling for a tax on solar energy. With some Spanish cities enjoying an average of 3,000 hours of sun each year, the nation's been one of the leading providers of solar energy. The trouble is they're producing so much that production capacity now exceeds demand by 60%, and it's meant the government's found itself in debt to producers to the tune of 26 billion euro. So in a bid to scale back the use of solar panels, the government's decided to tax those who use them. In other words, taxing the very behaviour they spent the last decade trying to encourage. Critics of the proposal say this will damage Spain's progress towards meeting European renewable energy goals and could set a dangerous precedent for other struggling EU countries like Greece, who are rumoured to be contemplating a similar tax. Spain's energy regulator agrees and has called the proposed toll economically unviable and discriminatory. Those who've been most blindsided by the idea are people like Pedro, who invested his money in installing a solar panel in his home.
With the new taxes, they're making it cheaper to buy your energy from the big companies, rather than use the power from your own solar panels.
The government argues that the tax is fair, as those using solar energy still require the use of the conventional energy grids. And so this tax will contribute to the cost of maintenance. But the solar lobby say the new tax will extend the time it takes for solar panels to pay for themselves from 8 to 25 years. As for the fine that could be levied if people like Pedro don't pay up, well, that's been set at a mind-boggling 30 million euro.
I already know people who are removing their solar panels.
Protesters say that's simply to scare people into submission, but as to whether it's working for Pedro... You're going to pay the tax?
No.
You're not?
No. No.
When the law's against your rights, you have the right to refuse to do what the government tells you. I'm going to continue with solar, and I'm not going to pay the tax.
With such strong resistance across the sunny state, Spain's government may have a fight on its hands and could be left wondering if the proposed tax is such a bright idea after all. Sarah Firth, RT, Spain.